Hey, you guys, it's Tim Hart, VanDyk Mortgage here in Fort Myers, Florida. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it. Here with our Ask an Expert series, easy for me to say. I got Pamela Paulson from Home Loans Assist. Pamela, how you doing?
I'm great, Tim. Thank you. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you. So we have Pamela. We've done a few videos already. What we're doing is a video series about credit reporting and, what goes into it, what people can do, a lot of different aspects of that credit reporting. We've already covered in previous videos, Credit Karma, FICO score, what goes into your credit score. And so today, Pamela, what you and I are going to be discussing, mainly you, because you're going to be the expert here, is how do people establish credit? And so before we even get into that, though, Pamela, I want to invite everyone out there, hook me up, like, share, and subscribe, whatever you're listening to, whatever application you're on. I'd really appreciate it. If you're listening on the Heartbeat Show podcast, leave me a review and subscribe to the podcast. I'd really appreciate that. It means a lot. So, Pamela, before we even get rolling into the credit stuff, let's hear about you and Home Loans Assist.
Okay, so Home Loans Assist, we're based out of Colorado. We've been in business since 2005. We're licensed and bonded in every state. Tim, most consumers don't realize the staggering number of errors on credit reports that oftentimes go unnoticed or uncorrected.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do with Home Loans Assist is we work on the consumer's behalf to correct and delete errors and erroneous information reporting on a consumer's credit report. The whole goal is to get them to a credit score where you, our loan officer, can get them a home loan and get them in the home of their dreams and get out of the rental cycle.
Yeah, I got you. And you guys do a great job of that. That's why when we can't handle a borrower or advise them what to do on their credit, or they're too far gone, we kick them over to you guys, and I shouldn't say kick, we refer them over to you guys. Bad choice of words, but refer them over to you guys, and then you guys, lights out. As long as the consumer is willing to work, and give you guys stuff, they do a great job. So, Pamela, you ready to get into it?
Let's jump right in.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna lay this scenario out to you. I have a person just getting out of college, right? They have zero credit. I pull their credit score. They're a ghost. We call them a ghost. I don't know what you guys call them. We call them a ghost.
It's a consumer with a thin file.
Thin. Okay, all right. I'm going to stick with ghost. Ghost is more fun for me.
Okay.
So you have that type of borrower, right? Never had a chance to establish credit. And then you have the people that all their life, they've just paid cash for everything. And which is absolutely wonderful and amazing for these people that they're that responsible to do that. But when it comes to a ghost, just so everyone out there knows, like when you don't have a credit score and then you go to try to obtain a mortgage or a vehicle or something, none of us can tell how you pay people back. And so, we look at it and say, man, you're a ghost. And then you'll say, well, I pay all my bills and, I make enough money. And the reality of it is no one can really tell how you pay them back, which is what we're going to talk about today, is how to establish credit so you can prove that you're credit worthy.
Absolutely. So, Tim, whether it's a ghost, a person with a thin file, no credit history whatsoever, building credit can be tricky. If a consumer doesn't have any credit history, it's hard for them to get a loan because, a credit card, even qualify for an apartment, if they don't have any type of credit history, how do you show the responsible repayment will give them credit in the first place? So let's just dive right in and talk about different ways an individual can establish credit.
Okay.
The first is applying for a secured credit card. Now, secured is different than unsecured. An individual that has no credit history oftentimes won't qualify for an unsecured credit card. So by applying for a secured credit card, essentially, you're building your credit score from scratch. So if you'll need to likely start with a secured credit card, which is backed by a cash deposit that the consumer makes up front. And usually the deposit amount is the same as the credit limit.
Right. And so for those type of people that, hey, go establish a secured credit card, sounds cool. How do they, where do they go? Like, how, what would you, where do they open these at?
We have found that, well, online, but here's the catch. Consumers definitely want to do their research. There are credit card offers where maybe they'll get points or cash back, even with secured credit cards. These companies are trying to get consumers to entice them to go with their particular company. Look for low interest rates. Even with no credit score or a low credit score, you can still do interest rate shopping. So, I mean, obviously you see an interest rate at 29% versus 23%. I think that's, a no-brainer. You're going to want to go with a lower interest rate. So do some online checking. But here's the catch. We use a company called Open Sky. It's OpenSkyCCCreditCard.com. We're not tied to this company in any way, but what we have found, they report to all three bureaus in the quickest time frame. So it's imperative to know, somebody trying to build their credit with no credit history or limited, if that consumer does qualify for an unsecured credit card, meaning they're not putting up their own cash to obtain a credit card, it could take 6 to 9 months to start getting a credit score reporting to the bureaus. And a secured credit card actually takes half the time. So by opening an unsecured credit card, keep the balance low. Only open it for $200. You don't have to have a large limit on that credit card, but maintain a low balance between 10 and 15% of whatever the limit is. Pay on time, and you should see the credit card start to report to the bureaus within a 3 to 6 month time frame.
Okay. And so one thing I've seen out there before is where people will offer secured credit cards and they get them, and then they find out later that they don't even report to the credit bureaus. So
absolutely,
that happens as well.
Yes, so that's why when the consumer is doing their research, call the company. It's imperative that they ask, does the company report to all three bureaus, and how quickly do they report?
Mm-hmm.
Some companies report once a quarter. So as the consumer is maintaining low balances and paying on time and doing everything responsible, it's not going to show up. So that's why we do like the company Open Sky.
Yeah, and we've seen here in the Fort Myers market, shout out to Fort Myers, by the way, that a lot of the local banks will do these, and so I advise people to check with your banking institution, credit union, do they offer it? And that's kind of a quick, easy way. You've already got a little bit of a relationship established with them, and then you got to make sure they report to the credit bureaus.
Yeah, that's actually great advice, Tim.
Oh, thank you, Pamela. I appreciate that.
Okay. So then moving on, another way to establish credit is to apply for a credit builder loan. I never have heard of this until I started working for Home Loans Assist. I've been with Home Loans for over 4 years now, but a credit builder loan is exactly what it sounds like. Its sole purpose is to help people build credit. So typically, the money that the consumer borrows is held by the lender in an account, and it's not released to them until the loan is repaid. So basically, it's like a forced savings program of sorts, if you will, and your payments are reported to the credit bureaus. So these loans are most often offered, from what we've seen, by credit unions or community banks. Have you ever heard of credit builder loans, Tim?
Well, I was going to say, if you have any kind of links for that, send it over to me, like for someone that already offers that. I've never been able to refer something like that out. I mean, it sounds like it's just is it just an unsecured personal loan, or?
Basically, yeah. And it's almost like a savings, but where the consumer won't have access to those funds until the loan is repaid. But I'll certainly get over more information to you.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. And then another way that we briefly talked about in one of our other videos is an authorized user on somebody else's credit card.
Mm-hmm.
So the consumer can ask a family member or a significant other if they would be willing to add them as an authorized user. And essentially, as an authorized user, you build credit history. You just want to ensure that the signer of that card obviously makes on-time payments,
Yeah.
its balance is low, everything has to be in good standing. If the account ever defaults with a late payment or maxed out credit card, it's very easy for an authorized user to get removed from that account, and then nothing will negatively impact their score.
Yeah, this is a go-to move for us, especially with husband, wife. You know, like wife has, long established credit, husband paid cash all his life, could care less about it. And then he's able to just become authorized user on her account. And then his credit score goes through the roof pretty quick too. How long do you see it taking effect when someone becomes an authorized user on a well-established account?
30 to 45 days.
Yeah, that's quick in the credit world.
Yeah. Sometimes if the consumer calls the company and just asks if they can report it in the quickest time frame, but on average we see it it takes about 30 to 45 days.
Gotcha. Cool. Are there any other tips for establishing credit?
Last but not least, get credit for the rent you pay. So there are rent reporting services such as Rental Karma. We talked about this in one of our other videos, and Rent Track, that take a bill that you're already paying and put it on your credit report. Now there is, a payment. There is some sort of fee associated with it. I don't know what that fee is, but these companies help to build a positive history for on-time payments.
How does this company know that I paid on time? Is it like, do I send them my canceled check, or how do they know? Or do you have to rely on your landlord to report that?
Yeah, you do. You rely on the landlord.
Okay, I got you. All right. Well, we'll put those links in the show notes as well, so everyone can see that. And, hey, it can't hurt to try them all, right?
Right, absolutely. So it's better to try something than nothing at all, because if you don't try anything, you're going to be in the same place you were, a year from now or whatever the time frame is.
Yeah, we always talk about that with people that have like really bad credit, and it's like, if you don't fix it now, you're going to be battling these conversations your entire life. And same with no credit, you're always going to battle this, I got no credit, but I pay my bills. So great advice, Pamela. Awesome job. You got anything else to add?
I think we covered everything, but if anybody has any further questions or wants to reach out, either reach out to Tim and he'll connect us, or feel free to contact me as well.
Yeah, so you guys watching, if you have any questions with credit, reach out to me, especially if you want to try to buy a home, you're sick of renting. I'm here to help you and work with you on credit reports and help coach you along the way and hopefully get you home ownership. Or if you just have regular credit questions, just let me know. I'm here to help you guys. So please, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe, especially on YouTube. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, the Heartbeat Show podcast, please, subscribe on that app you're using. Drop a review. I'd appreciate it. So Pamela Paulson, Home Loans Assist, appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure, Tim. Thank you.